This is going to be pretty exciting. I want to talk to you about iPhone settings that you can have that are really going to optimize your videos and make things look a little bit better. So if you have an iPhone, here is an iPhone 13 Max Pro or Pro Max. You want to go ahead and enter your settings. In your settings, you want to go in the main page. In the main page, you're going to scroll down to where it says camera. And that's going to be right here. You're going to tap on camera. And in camera, there's going to have a few options on what kind of quality you can record it. Now, the quality matters, but also storage matters. So keep that in mind. If your storage is limited and you'd like to shoot a ton of stuff, you should really kind of figure that out. I don't know how to say it, but you got to figure out your storage. That way it makes sense for you. So here we go. The number one thing we're going to look for is right here on what you are recording your video as. So for example, I love shooting at 4K 30 frames a second. That is going to be your best quality. Now you can shoot at 4K 60, but that is going to require you having a Mac, so that way you can go ahead and view it. That's what it says. Then there's all these other formats here. There's show PAL formats, HDR, as well as lock camera. I always lock the camera because I hate when it switches from one to the other. I just think it doesn't make sense when I'm recording something. I'm not trying to make it switch. So I hit lock camera, and then I also select lock white balance. The reason is I don't want it going from too orange to too blue to too orange to too blue randomly during the same shot, during the same video. For me, it just doesn't make sense, but essentially that's what I'm gonna do. I turn off HDR video because I don't want it to kind of mess with the colors or I don't know. I turn it off. I feel like it's done better for me when I turn it off. A few other things, slow-mo is recorded at 720. If you have a Mac, go ahead and record it at 1080. That way it's gonna be much better quality. It is gonna only play on a Mac is what it says though. So just keep that in mind. When it comes to camera capture, if this is your primary camera, you're gonna have different settings than I have. I am not shooting Apple ProRAW or Apple ProRes. The reason why is because I don't use this as my main camera, so I don't need the flexibility of shooting in a ProRes or ProRAW file. But if this is your main way to shoot photos or your main way to shoot video, then I would recommend toggling those on because it's going to give you a much wider range of editing ability, so that way you can get the best quality possible. So go ahead and switch those out if you are using it as your main camera. A couple other settings under preserve settings, which is right underneath your formats. You're going to go ahead and I love selecting on camera mode. It allows the camera to remember the setting it was. So if I was on video, it'll open up as video. If I was under photo, it opens up a photo. It's the worst when you try to toggle back and forth and you have to keep changing that. I like to toggle on depth control. I don't want it always going to 1.8 or 1.4, whatever it naturally goes to. I like to have that a little bit less shallow. And then I go ahead and turn on live photo and portrait zoom. Those should already be on, so that those really don't require too much of a change. The rest of your settings should look like this and you are good to go. Honestly, that is pretty much all you need to change. Like I said, when you are shooting with this as your primary camera, I would recommend turning those on, but then you do need to learn a little bit about color grading if you are going to shoot Apple ProRes, as well as have a device. Your phone will do it great, but I mean a computer that can really handle it well. If you're going to move it over, you don't want to move it over to a computer that's super old, can't handle ProRes files. So you want to make sure that you do have at least the knowledge to do it. If you have any questions on that side of it and you're putting out those files, then go ahead and let me know. I'll help you out with those settings to make sure those are optimized.